Hi, this is Katie. We are gonna vlog today. I just got in. I was in the car recording a couple videos, but I'm pretty sure that I said in my next Sunday vlog that I was going to talk to you guys about how I meal plan, because you guys know I change my diet around a lot because of my health. And I'm actually going to stop making such drastic diet changes because of my health. I might make some little diet changes here and there, but I'm gonna stop doing the drastic ones for now because they just haven't been helping like I thought that they were going to, and so there's just kind of really no point to do them right now. But regardless, I am also in the process of trying to save money right now. And so one of the ways that I'm doing that I think is actually pretty helpful for me is meal planning, because then I'm not just like at the grocery store buying a bunch of food, and I'm also not buying a bunch of food and then wasting it and stuff like that. Because when I meal plan, I also make a grocery list. And so I at least want to talk about that right now. Am I going to talk about anything else in this vlog? I don't know. But I'm at least gonna talk about meal planning. Maybe it'll be helpful for you too, whether you're trying to save money or just like make it easier throughout the week, so you're not like worried about what you're gonna make that night, because you already know that you have all the ingredients and you already have it like all kind of planned out. And for someone like me, like in certain ways I'm not a planner at all, and then in other ways I love planning. And so I have found that when I make meal plans, it is easier for me sometimes. So anyway, it is Friday and I'm pretty sure I'm going away this weekend. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. So I'm going to start my next meal plan starting Monday, and I want to make it with you guys. So really quickly, I want to show you what's already in my fridge, because how I make my meal plans, I already look at what I have in my fridge, in my pantry, and in my little like potato basket basically. And then I decide from there what meals I can make, and then I think, okay, what else do I need to buy to finish those meals, is kind of how I do it. And then I just write it all down on my phone. And I generally eat twice a day. I generally eat like a brunch and a dinner. And so I will write down, you know, the 2 meals. And then I will also write down like a list of potential snacks. And so yeah, I'm just going to take a little quick video on my phone of my fridge and show you what I'm already working with. And then I can talk to you about like the grocery list that I'm gonna make. Okay, so these 2 shelves and that drawer are mine. And so as you can see, I have some lettuce. That one's almost empty, but I do have a couple more things of lettuce that I hope have not gone bad. That's again why I like to meal plan, because if I meal plan properly, I will not be wasting a lot of food. Every once in a while, I still do waste food, but I really don't like doing that. So this minimizes it. So anyway, I have some lettuce. I have a half of an onion. I have some carrots. I have, what are these called? Pickles? Wow. I have some hummus. I have some pesto right here. And then in the back, I have bread and I have wraps. And then I have more carrots. And I also have some celery back there as well. I have some coconut milk. This one, okay, this is the first time I've tried this brand. I usually get whatever the other brand is of coconut milk. This is my first time trying this one. It tastes a lot more coconutty, just FYI. So anyway, I have that. And then I have a bunch of eggs. I have a couple seltzers, so I'm gonna get more LaCroix because I love those. And then I have a bunch of eggs. And then in here is where I keep my dairy and another seltzer. And then these are my 2 shelves on the door. So I have like coconut aminos. I have a couple sauces, hot sauce, more pickles, mustard. I tried mustard back recently and I felt fine. Isn't that crazy? I have a little bit of mayonnaise left. So now in my freezer, I have a bunch of chicken nuggets. Actually, if you have watched some of my other videos, you would see that I used to have even more. So I have gone through some, but I have these dinosaur chicken nuggets that I love. I got from Whole Foods. These are delicious. And then I really love the Applegate ones as well. And then this brand, Bell & Evans, I prefer the chicken tenders, but I do also have the nuggets. And then down here, I have these. I love these so much. These are from Target. These are gluten-free, like little donut holes. They're so good. And I have 2 of those. And then I also have frozen chicken and frozen beef. And then over here, I have 1 russet potato, like 3 sweet potatoes, 2 red onions, and like 3 yellow onions. And then just in case you didn't know, I have a gluten allergy, a dairy allergy, and I can't eat a ton of fruits and vegetables and a bunch of other food because of stomach issues and also an esophagus disease. And so my diet is very strict and kind of weird. So what I'm showing you, I'm not going to say is the healthiest for everyone. I'm just saying it's what I can eat. And so anyway, so basically what I'm going to do is think about what I can do with the eggs that I have, and then the chicken in the freezer, the chicken nuggets in the freezer, and then also have that beef in the freezer. And I'm going to make sure how much of the lettuce is actually still good, because I think some of it expired like 2 weeks ago. It hasn't been opened yet, but I have to see how it's doing because I don't know. And then I'm gonna think about the potatoes, and then I have 1 or 2 other things in the pantry up here, but like these are mostly just snacks. I have like a couple like Go Macro bars, but I really only eat these if I'm like on the road. And I have potato chips. I do have a thing of chicken breast that I would make like chicken salad from. And I have like another thing of olives. I have some roasted red peppers. I have a couple other things in like my pantry. And so I'm gonna think of all that stuff, and then I'm going to start writing down what meals I can make with all that food. And then if the meal only is missing like 1 or 2 ingredients, then that's how I'm gonna make my grocery list for the week. And then I'll just go to the grocery store, you know, either this weekend or on Monday, depending if I'm going away or not, and then get all like the extra things. Okay, I'll talk to you guys in a second. Okay, hey guys, I don't know why I still have my jacket and my sneakers on. I got like 2 like in the zone of making my meal plan. Okay, so I probably spent, I don't know, 5 minutes making that meal plan. Sometimes it does take me a lot longer, depending, but this took me about 5 minutes. And I am going to show you right here what my meal plan looks like, and I'm just going to read it off really quickly. Again, based on the food that I already have in my fridge. But if I'm gonna be making a meal plan every single week, then in reality, I wouldn't have a lot of leftover unless I already kind of know what some of the food for the next week's gonna be and I just buy extra. You know, like I have extra frozen beef or extra pickles or something like that. So the meal plan that I made, and again, I'm doing this in hopes to, you know, eat what I have, not waste food, save some money, and then also like decrease some of my stress of, I don't know what I'm gonna have, I don't know what I'm gonna have, you know, and this is kind of helpful for me. So anyway, Monday, bacon and eggs. You're gonna see a trend with my breakfast for the week or my brunches for the week. It's all mostly gonna be eggs because it's what I have and because I like eggs in the morning. So Monday, bacon and eggs. And then Monday evening, I'm gonna have a chicken wrap and sweet potato fries. So I did show you that I have, it's like a pound of chicken in my freezer. And so basically, you know, Sunday, I will take that out to defrost it. And then I will just cook all of it up on Monday. I'm gonna be having chicken for the next couple days. I'm just gonna cook it all at once. That's easier for me. Tuesday, bacon and eggs. And then how I'm gonna make the eggs, that I will just decide the morning, whatever I'm in the mood for, whether it's scrambled or over easy. Those are generally the 2 that I go for. So Tuesday, bacon and eggs, and then I'm just gonna do grilled chicken with some veggies and a baked potato, like the russet potato that I had. Wednesday, I'm gonna do French toast and eggs. And then for dinner, I'm gonna do grilled chicken with veggies and sweet potato fries. Thursday, I'm gonna make an omelet. So Thursday is when I decided to open up one of those things of cheese that I have, because those packets of cheese, I have a couple of them. The sliced ones at least come in packs of like 10 slices of cheese. And you're really only supposed to leave it open. It's vegan cheese, by the way. You're only really supposed to leave it open for like a week. And so I am going to make sure that once I open it, that I know when I open it and that I only keep it open for a week, and that I just make sure that those meals over the next week, you know, some of them are gonna have cheese. So I'm gonna open up that cheese on Thursday. Same with the bacon. This is another thing that I do when I'm making my meal plans. What has a short shelf life? So something like the chicken, for example. I'm gonna take a break and talk to you guys for a second. The chicken, for example, I'm gonna thaw it out Sunday, Monday. I'm gonna cook all of it on Monday, mostly because I don't really love cooking chicken, so I'd rather just all get it over with. And cooking a little bit of chicken or cooking a lot of chicken, it's all the same to me. So I'm just gonna cook it all on Monday. And then I'm either gonna eat it cold or heat it up, whatever, for Tuesday and Wednesday, because cooked chicken for me, I like to eat within, you know, 3-ish days or so. So having it Tuesday, Wednesday, I'm good. The same with the bacon. I'm gonna open that on Monday. Bacon I like to have open for, you know, about a week. So I wanna make sure that I basically eat all the bacon Monday through the weekend. And so I'm also going to make sure that I have that on my meal plan as well. And then, like I said, with the cheese, I'm gonna open up the cheese on Thursday. So I'm gonna know to eat all the cheese before the next Thursday. So I think that for me is one of the most important parts of meal planning, because I don't like to let food go to waste, and I don't really like to eat things like longer than I should, right? If like this dairy-free vegan cheese says only to have it open for a week, I generally will only have it open for a week, maybe 8 days tops. And then especially with meat, I will really not go any longer than the suggested amount of time once it's opened or once it's cooked or anything like that, especially because I have a lot of digestive issues. I don't even want to make like more of a chance of me getting sick. And so again, Thursday, I'm going to open up one of those things of cheese that I have. I'm going to make an omelet in the morning. That's going to be, when I write down omelet, I either mean cheese omelet or I might add onions to it, because recently I realized that I can have onions. Boggles my mind. If you've been through this whole journey with me figuring out my diet, it is weird that I can eat onions and not get sick, but I can, and I'm very grateful because I love onions. So then Thursday for dinner, I'm gonna have a bacon cheeseburger because the bacon's gonna be open and the cheese is gonna be open. I'll probably put some onions on there as well. And since I don't wanna go buy buns or anything, I do have sliced white bread. So I'm just gonna put that burger on toast. And then I should have one more sweet potato left, so I'll make some sweet potato fries on the side for that. That'll be Thursday. Friday, bacon and eggs. And then for dinner, because I'm gonna have the cheese open and I'm still gonna have some of that beef, I'm gonna make a chopped cheese. And for me, I just do beef just really chopped up, kind of like you would like taco meat, but then I just put a bunch of cheese in there and melt that. And I might put some seasonings. We'll see how I feel depending on the seasonings. And then I just put that on a wrap. And I do know that I have a couple wraps that I have. So I'm gonna do that. If the wraps that I have, I'm trying to think, I might actually only have the wraps that if I put something warm in it, they fall apart. So if I do, then instead of the chopped cheese, I will just make a quesadilla, essentially. So basically the same like filling of the chopped cheese, but I will just put it in a different type of wrap. And then for Saturday, more bacon and eggs. I'm gonna finish all the bacon by Saturday. And then also for Saturday, I'm gonna have the leftover beef, like whatever's left from the cheeseburger Thursday and the chopped cheese on Friday. There won't be a ton of it left, but I'm just gonna see how much of it is left. And I'll either make another burger, and then depending on how I feel, I'll either have that just with lettuce, or I will have it on bread, or maybe I'll make another chopped cheese. I doubt I'll have enough. Or maybe I'll make a little quesadilla because I might have a couple wraps left over. And then depending on how much beef I have left over, like depending if that's a full meal or not, I also wrote down for Saturday, I'll have chicken nuggets as well. So that's basically if the chicken is all done, the beef is all done, and everything is done by Saturday, and I really like just need some more protein and want some more food, then I will have some chicken nuggets. But by then I will be done with all the chicken, I will be done with all the bacon, and I'll be done with all the burger meat. I will still definitely have chicken nuggets left, but the good thing about those, obviously, they last a long time. So those chicken nuggets are almost like extra meals, you know, for the next few weeks. The cheese will still be open, but I will just make sure to incorporate that for the first few days of the week after's meal plan. And then the other things, you know, like pickles and lettuce and onions and stuff like that, that go with this, I might still have a little bit of that left over, but it will be things that can go into the next week as well. And so in all honesty, for the whole week of my meals, I don't think I'm gonna have to buy anything. I don't think. And then at the end, I have my snacks. So I have hummus and chips because I do have like 1.5 things of hummus in there. I am out of tortilla chips or anything that I would dip in hummus though. So that is one thing that I'm gonna go to the grocery store and either get tortilla chips or pretzels. But then also on my snack list, hard-boiled eggs, carrots, celery, olives, potato chips, chicken chips, which are like protein chips, but the first ingredient is chicken breast. And I do have some of those. Oreos, donuts, and cereal as like my sweet treats. I do have a couple Oreos left that I bought like a month ago, but I just opened a week or two ago. I have a couple of those left. I showed you the donuts that I have. And then I also have some like Cocoa Pebble type cereal that I can have as a little snack as well. And so in all honesty, for the whole week, I really should only have to buy chips for the hummus. Oh, and LaCroix, because I do like to have LaCroix in my fridge as well. So I'll either buy tortilla chips or something like that, and then some LaCroix. And I really think that that should be it for the week. So now I can get back in the middle because I don't have to show you anything anymore. But yeah, so then, you know, also in the beginning of the week, I'll make some hard-boiled eggs and I'll put those in the fridge and I'll have that as a snack. I do have some carrots, and then I also have some celery. And so also the beginning of the week, the carrots are already washed, but I will make sure that the celery is washed and chopped up at the beginning of the week. And so I'll have that for a couple days as well. Olives I already have. And then again, you know, some potato chips and stuff I already have. So even like with my chopped cheese, if I really for some reason want like a little side of lettuce and olives and potato chips. I can do that, you know, because I do have some of those little extra sides in there that I will put there. And so this week is really just using up basically things that I've already purchased. However, say I only had, you know, some potatoes, but I had no meat. Then I would think, okay, well, what meat do I want to make this week? And one of the things about me, because my diet is so strict, I'm on a pretty limited meal plan. You know, there are only so many things that I eat each week. There are, you know, sometimes every couple weeks or so I might try something new or change things around, but still generally I'm eating a lot of eggs. I'm eating a lot of burgers, chopped cheese, tacos, and then things with chicken, whether it's chicken nuggets that are already in my freezer, or if I'm making a chicken wrap, or just even a piece of grilled chicken or something like that. And then also if I have like canned chicken, I'll make some chicken salad. Oh, that was one of the other things that I wanted to make this week. So I have a little bit of mayonnaise left over, not enough for a whole chicken salad, but I do have enough for like an egg salad. And so I am going to, I guess instead of the hard-boiled eggs, I'll put egg salad. And I'll put a little asterisk next to that just to remind myself to make it. So yeah, again, just a couple tips. Like if I had no meat, but I just had potatoes, I would think, okay, what meat am I in the mood for this week? Or what other sides do I have? Do I have bread? Do I have wraps? Do I have mayonnaise? Do I have mustard? Like, do I have other things that I might have with something? Do I have that coconut aminos that also would be good with chicken, you know? And so I would kind of think that, but generally every week I am buying at least 1 pound of ground beef. Or I might buy 2 or 3 and then that'll just last me for a couple weeks, and then potentially 1 pound of chicken, just depending. You might think, well, Katie, what if you have on here that you're having a chopped cheese, but you're really in the mood for an omelet? Well, you know what? For me, since I'm on such a limited diet, most of the foods that I eat are foods that I really, really love. And so if I'm in the mood for an omelet, but it says chopped cheese on here, once I start making the chopped cheese, I'll want the chopped cheese. So I'm okay with that. But if there is something that I'm like, I'm really in the mood for tacos, and tacos are not on my list for the whole week, and by the end of the week, I'm still really in the mood for tacos, then I'll just add it to like the first day of my next week's meal plan. I'll really just do that. Or if it's really like an easy fix, like a chopped cheese to a quesadilla, or that I might have omelet for brunch, but a chopped cheese for dinner, and I can just switch them, then I might do that. If I'm like really in the mood for something else, I might do that. But most of the time, I'll just eat what's on my meal plan, and I'm totally fine with it, because again, all these meals are meals that I love anyway. And so even if I'm not exactly in the mood for it at the time, I don't really want to be someone who just trusts my mood, especially when it comes to food. I want to make sure that I'm eating the food that I have so it's not going to waste and that I'm not wasting money. And this also does decrease my stress a little bit, because what about the times that I'm not in the mood for something specific? Then okay, I already have it on my list that I'm making a chicken wrap or something like that. And generally, again, since it's all food that I love, I'm still going to be really excited when I eat it, because I know that food, yes, is fuel, but I also understand the joy of eating food. And especially with all the disorders that I have, the joy of eating food has changed a lot over the last year or so. But I still have found a couple ways to be excited about the food that I'm eating. And so that's why a lot of these foods, again, I know that they might not seem healthy for you. You might be like, Katie, why aren't you eating salads? Why aren't you eating fruit? Because I can't really digest a lot of that kind of stuff. And it's not something that I can change. It's because I have a rare illness in my esophagus, and it's because I have a lot of dietary issues, food allergies, and digestive issues. And so this kind of stuff is the stuff that I can digest and that I can get down. And so that matters to me more for my health versus eating, you know, salads and fruit and stuff like other people might say is healthy. It's just not healthy for me because I've tried it and I can't digest it properly. There are some vegetables that I can eat, which is great. And so that's why I will incorporate some of those. So even like when I'm having, you know, a chicken wrap, that means I'm adding lettuce, I'm adding olives, I might be adding onions or peppers or something like that that I already have. And so yeah, that's kind of what that means for me. I know it is going to look different for everyone, but this is just how my diet looks in terms of what I can eat.
Hey guys, look at the sun right here. That looks pretty cool. It looks like a filter. Anyway, hi, it's a couple days later, and I just wanted to finish this video by showing you the couple groceries that I did get to like round out all of the food that I'm gonna have for the week. And I also wanted to give you guys a couple more tips on what I would personally do for a meal plan if I had like basically no food in the house. Because this past week I had a ton of food in the house already from the last couple weeks. And so how I made a meal plan is gonna be different than if I had really no food in the house. So I'll give you a couple more tips on that as well. But I just just want to show you the couple things I got at the grocery store. Like I said, I was going to get some LaCroix. I love this. Pamplemousse is like the only LaCroix flavor that I think is incredible. I think the rest are fine. Pamplemousse, delicious. I love it so much. So this is like one of the treats that I like to have in the house. So I got a 12 pack of that. I also mentioned that I was going to get tortilla chips for the hummus because obviously I could dip the carrots and the celery in the hummus, but I like to have like a chip for my hummus. And so I got the Simply Organic Tostitos blue corn ones because these were the same exact price as the non-organic ones. So I was like, let me just get these. They're organic. And then I also got the last two things. I got 2 more potatoes because I did end up eating one of the potatoes a couple days ago. So I got 2 more for the week. And so that's all I got. Everything else I have at the house. And this is going to literally feed me for the whole week. Everything that I showed you on the meal plan, plus these last couple things. And so basically the last couple tips that I wanted to give you, because again, I made the meal plan for this week already having most of the food. And so I was able to base a meal plan around the food that I already had. But there are basically 2 ways to make meal plans, right? You can either do it based on the food that you already have in your pantry or in your freezer or in your fridge, or you can kind of do it from scratch where you're going to have to make a list and then go to the grocery store to buy basically all of the ingredients, because maybe all you have in your fridge right now is mustard and some lettuce and some chicken nuggets. You know what I mean? And you might be like, Katie, I need to make a whole meal plan basically from scratch. What would you do? And so basically, again, for me, you guys know I'm on a restricted diet. And so there are not a ton of meals that I can eat, which honestly, I think is kind of helpful for me with a meal plan because I don't have as many options. So I don't have as many things to choose from. However, you know for yourself what food you feel good eating, what food that you want to incorporate into your diet once or twice a week because they're like really fun treats for you to eat. You know that maybe if you're trying to lose weight or gain muscle, or you're trying to eat healthier in whatever way that means for you, or you're trying to cut out sugar, whatever you're doing, you know what that means for you. Just, be honest with yourself so you can make up a meal plan that's actually right for you. And so what I would do, my tips on this, if I was completely starting from scratch, literally all I had in my refrigerator was some mustard, is that I would just think what meals I want to have for the week. Just think about it. And that is just going to, again, depend on you and your diet and your food goals, and maybe even what time of year it is or what food you ate last week. Because maybe last week you had pizza 4 times and you're like, I don't want to do that this week. I want to eat a little bit healthier. And then so just kind of think what meals that you might want to eat, and say one of the meals that you know you want is a chicken wrap. Okay. I think I'm having one of those today. I'm pretty sure that was on the meal plan for Monday, and it's Monday right now. I know this is a Sunday vlog, but yesterday was Easter and I did not post this video. So I'm posting it today. Okay. So anyway, one of my biggest pieces of advice is if you know that you want something like a chicken wrap, think about how much chicken you will probably eat in that wrap. For me, in a chicken wrap, I might eat maybe a 1/4 pound of chicken. And so I'm going to think, okay, if I'm going to buy a pound of chicken at the store, that might mean that I'm going to have 3 or 4 meals with this pound of chicken. And at least from my knowledge and what I'm comfortable with, I think that chicken lasts for a few days, so I'm thinking 3 or 4 days of having chicken once a day for a meal. Or if you don't want to do that, then make sure that you freeze it. Okay. But so for me, for example, for this week, like even if I did not have any groceries in the house, my meal plan would probably look pretty similar. And so what I would have done is been like, okay, I think I want to have a chicken wrap. So now if I get a pound of chicken, for me personally, that's going to be about 3 or 4 meals. And I want to eat that within 3 or 4 days. And so I'm going to do, all right, chicken wrap on Monday. And then I'm going to do, chicken and veggies or whatever on Tuesday, and then another chicken wrap on Wednesday or whatever it was that I said. It was something similar to that. And I'm going to make sure that I eat it all within the healthy time frame and the safe time frame. The same with like if I open some cheese, or if I'm like, I kind of want to do sandwiches this week. And so you know that you want to get cold cuts, for example. And so you're like, okay, if I get the cold cuts on Sunday, maybe they're safe depending on what cold cuts they are and stuff, maybe that they're safe until Wednesday or Thursday or Friday, depending on what they are, right? And so you're like, okay, how many meals can I get out of that? And I think that just takes a little bit more thinking and planning than just I'll grab this, and then I'll make meals when I get home. I used to do that. But again, I would waste a lot of money and waste more food than I like to waste. I really don't like wasting food at all. But sometimes if I just kind of grabbed whatever I was in the mood for at the grocery store, especially if it's perishable once it's opened, then I would just be more likely to waste food. If you're buying something like a bag of chips because you love chips, that's a little bit different. But I'm talking more about like the meals. And so I think that if all right, I want to have cold cuts this week, then make sure that on your meal plan, you're like, if I'm going to have cold cuts 4 days this week that I'm going to purchase 4 meals of cold cuts. And so for me, when I make a sandwich out of cold cuts, I usually, if I get a pound, that is usually for me 4 to 5 meals. I like to have like really big sandwiches. And so it just does take a little bit of paying attention. Obviously, if you're just starting to make a meal plan right now, your first few weeks, you might have some leftovers that you weren't sure of, or you may have not bought enough because you're really unsure of how much you're eating at each meal. But that just takes a little bit of like learning. You know, there's a little bit of a learning curve for this, but I just kind of know that when I'm having something like chicken, a pound of chicken, I can do, 3 or 4 meals. And then the same with the beef. If I'm having like a chopped cheese, I'll have like a third or half of a pound of meat. And so I just know that because I've been making chopped cheeses a lot over the last couple months. And so I've just been paying attention. And so I just think if you're going to have something perishable like that, whether it's meat, whether it's dairy, whether it's even fake dairy, or whether it's like a sauce that you can't really have open for very long, like a pesto, like a fresh sauce that you might make, or even something like fruits and vegetables. When I was eating more fruits and vegetables, I would go to the grocery store more than once a week because I would notice sometimes I would buy a jalapeno and 3 days later it's already gone bad. And so I would sometimes have to go to the grocery store twice a week. And then, especially again, if you're completely starting from scratch, if you're buying chicken and you're buying wraps, okay, well then what else can you eat with the wraps? So then maybe one other day you will make a quesadilla. And so do you want your quesadilla to be with beans and cheese or beef or whatever? And then buy enough for that. And so I really just do think it's just a little bit more thinking beforehand, but I do think it will or can decrease the stress of the day of like, oh, what am I going to eat today? I don't know because I'm not really in the mood for anything. Well, we don't always have to rely on our mood, right? And so if we're relying on a plan, then you don't need to rely on your mood. And so I think that just buy what you're going to eat. Make sure that you kind of pay attention to how much of something that you eat so you're buying the proper amount. And then especially for me, like sometimes when I would go to the grocery store before I did these meal plans, when I would go to the grocery store, I'd just be like, oh, I'll get 4 potatoes. But I didn't have a rhyme or reason to do that. I just kind of thought maybe I'll eat potatoes this week. But since I didn't meal plan, most of the time, a lot of those potatoes would go to waste because I'd either forget that I have them, or if I only relied on my mood, then I would be eating something else. And then I just wouldn't eat the potatoes and I would just ignore them. And then they would start to go bad after a little while, And so I think that if you make the meal plan and then you make a grocery list with that, and you're just, again, honest with yourself about how much you can eat and how much you're going to eat and what you want to eat, then you won't be wasting as much food. And also I think for me, at least, it's a little bit less stressful because I'm not like worried about what I'm eating and I'm not worried about like, oh, what am I in the mood for? Do I really even have this ingredient? Well, yes, you do because you already made a list and you already bought it earlier. And again, if you make your meal plan and then 3 days in, you're like, oh no, I really want tacos, but tacos are not on my meal plan. Okay, add it for next week. Again, I don't think that always relying on what we're in the mood for is going to be helpful for something like this. If you're trying to save money, if you're trying to waste less food, and if you're trying to like lower your stress a little bit. So definitely write a meal plan for whatever you think that you might want to eat that week, depending on your diet, or it can be on your mood, of course, but depending on your diet and your budget, because also you can even kind of do a little bit of research to see how much the food is. If you have a very particular budget, that might be really important to you as well. I totally understand that too, because I've done that too. Like, okay, if I know I'm going to be eating 2 pounds of beef this week, how much is the beef that I buy? And so how much is that within my budget? And then how much more do I have for sides for that beef, for example? And so that can be a really important thing to do as well. But again, the biggest piece of advice that I'm going to give is if you know that you're buying something that once you open it, it's going to go bad within a couple days, just make sure that that is within a couple days on your meal plan. Okay. That's like my biggest piece of advice for this, because there are going to be some times where I'm like, if I'm not meal planning, there might be some times where I'm like, I want nachos. And so I open up a can of refried beans and I open up a package of cheese, and then I make my nachos, but I only used 2 slices of cheese and a third of a can of refried beans. If I don't have a meal plan, those might end up going to waste before I even think to eat them again. And so that's why I really do think that a meal plan can be helpful. You don't want your food to go bad, right? And so that's why it's like, all right, if I want to have nachos, I can't really eat refried beans anymore. I'm just using it as an example because I used to eat them all the time and I used to love them, but I can't really eat them anymore. But say I wanted to make nachos with them on Monday, I might be like, okay, I know I'm still going to have at least half a can left. So what can I eat Tuesday, Wednesday? Maybe I'll make tacos for Tuesday and Wednesday, especially because tacos and nachos are very similar ingredients. And so you might be using similar ingredients and not wasting them once you already opened them. And then, maybe you'll have a 7-layer dip or something like that. Or maybe one day you just literally just want to have snacks and you just have dips and stuff, and you can have the refried beans with that. I think that's like my biggest piece of advice when you're meal planning. And then again, don't just go go by what you're in the mood for, go by your budget, go by what you know is healthy for you. And then also, yes, go by foods that you enjoy. But I just mean don't totally change your meal plan for one meal where you might end up wasting a bunch of other food, because that's not the point for the meal plan. You know what I mean? So anyway, I think that's enough. I've been talking for a long time and I know I've probably just repeated myself a bunch, but if you have any other questions about meal planning or just even my diet in general or how I meal plan in general, please let me know in the comments, because even though I know I've been talking for a lot, I'm sure I missed a couple things. So please ask me any questions that you have in the comments. I'd be happy to answer them. And yeah, I really hope that you're subscribed. I do talk about food sometimes, but also a lot of travel videos and just hanging out with me and lifestyle kind of stuff. But yeah, I guess that's going to be it. Thank you so much for watching, and I hope that you have a wonderful day. I love you. Jesus loves you, and I'll talk to you later. Bye.